Okay, so this video is going to explain again special right triangles, and I'm going to kind of do it a little bit different way in order to try and help some of you that are struggling with special right triangles. So, and before I go any further and start writing some more, let me explain why we even have special right triangles. Okay? Special right triangles is kind of like a shortcut to Pythagorean theorem. We have to get around ways where, what if we don't know two sides in a right triangle? Well, if I have a special one, there's these special relationships and equations that you can set up because it is either a 45-45-90 or a 30-60-90 triangle. And that really helps us out a lot. Remember, like we looked at yesterday, there's Pythagorean theorem. I always want to try it first. If it doesn't work, maybe geometric mean. If it doesn't work, maybe trigonometry will work for me. But if I have those two very special right triangles, this is the one I want to try. So the first one I'm going to look at is, what if I have a 45-45-90 triangle? And these numbers refer to the degrees in the triangle. Well, we set it up like this. I want to write this down and then I'm going to explain it. First of all, first thing I want you to notice, this one right here, it may be any number. And what we say about the ratio between these two legs of this triangle, we say they're 1 to 1. What that means, guys, is that whatever number is here is also going to be here. In other words, they're the same. And that's what that means. Right here, so if I look at my hypotenuse in this right triangle, which is here, I've got square root 2. What that means to say to you, if I'm looking at the hypotenuse on a 45-45-90, I'm going to take this number, whatever it is, may be a 1, may be something different. That number may be a whole number, it may be a square root number, it doesn't matter, these are all numbers. So I'm going to take that number, whatever it is, and I'm going to multiply it by square root 2. That will give me, this whole thing, my hypotenuse. Okay, so there's 45-45-90, and we did a foldable for it, and that'll be very helpful. After I get through explaining these two, I'm going to do a few problems. All right? So, erase all this. Next, the next one we looked at, and it looks a little bit different, is a very special kind of triangle that we call a 30-60-90. And again, these numbers represent the degrees in the triangle. So this, we kind of set up like this, and I refer to these, both the one I did before, and this 30-60-90 is kind of like our starting point for our special right triangle. So, across from 30. Whenever I say across from an angle, I'm talking about a side. So opposite this 30-degree angle, I'm going to put a 1. Opposite the 60-degree angle, I'm going to put square root 3. And where the hypotenuse is, I'm going to put 2. These are these base ratios that exist. Okay? So this right here, let's detail every one of them. Again, we've seen this before. This is just going to be a number. And I'm using the number symbol, okay? No, it's not a hashtag. So I'm using a number symbol. It may just be any kind of number. Now, if I look here across from 60, I've got square root 3. Well, just by itself, that doesn't mean very much. To get this side, okay, I've got to take this number and multiply it by square root 3. Whatever it is. Again, it may be an 8, it may be a 9, it may be square root 63. Who cares? They're all numbers. The next one, hypotenuse. This 2 doesn't mean much to you, but whenever I tell you to get the hypotenuse, you need to take that 2 and multiply it by this number. Okay. We have other distinctions also with a 30, 60, 90 that we need to talk about. So whenever it comes to these, we also mention long legs and short legs. We know this is my hypotenuse right here. And I just said that to get my hypotenuse, to get this, I can set it equal to 2 times whatever that number is. Again, and I'm referring to whatever's sitting there. Now, this we call a short leg. Why? Because it's opposite from my 30-degree angle, and it's going to be a shorter length, this whole leg, than is this one, which is across from my 60-degree angle. We call it the long leg. Now, the short leg is what it is, whatever's sitting there that you're good to go. But, as I've already said, in order to get my long leg, I have to take that short leg number, I have to multiply it by square root 3. Whatever that number is. Again, up here, I'm taking 2 and multiplying it by that short leg, and again, that'll just be some number. Now, guys, I want you to focus. What you've got right here are 2 equations. You may say, but I already know my hypotenuse. Why do I need this one? Well, if all I've got is my hypotenuse and I don't know my short leg, this would be a great one to use because I know how to solve an equation. But if you tell me, Ms. Charles, I've already got my long leg, why do I need this one? Well, again, what if I know nothing about my hypotenuse? I know my long leg and I'm looking for short leg. I'd use that one. Okay. Let's look at some problems. This is your homework. I'm going to work through some of these. First of all, the first thing you want to do in these kinds of problems is identify what you've got. I'm going to do number 3. Well, let's see. I'm looking for both legs. Well, what's nice about here, I know whatever that X number is, it's going to be equal to that Y number. Because again, we've established that in the 45, 45, 90, those legs are equal to one another. Looking right here, they give me, so I'm given that my hypotenuse is equal to 8 square root 2. The only thing I have to work with on a 45, 45, 90 is this. The only thing that I've got is that hypotenuse is equal to my leg, whichever one. We'll do X, why not? That's everyone's favorite, and whatever X is, Y is the same thing. So it's going to be equal to that leg value, well, sitting there is X, times square root 2. Oh, well, I know my hypotenuse, so I'm going to fill that in. 8 square root 2 equals X times square root 2. Guys, it's an equation, just like in algebra. I know these numbers look funny. Square root 2 is a very funny number. But it is a number, and I'm going to treat it like one. So I'm going to divide both sides by square root 2. Ooh, that goes away. And I'm left with X being 8. But we already established, because I looked for what am I looking for and what am I given. I know that X and Y are going to be the same. Okay, I'm going to do a 30, 60, 90. Which one I want to do? Let's do number 6. Okay, let's see. What am I looking for? So let's see. Across from that 30-degree angle, we've done establish that's my short leg. So I need to look for my short leg. Right now, it's just Y. And I don't want to know that it's Y. Let's see. Across from my 60-degree angle, I hit this side. So I know that my long leg is equal to X. Oh, my hypotenuse. Well, thank goodness they give me something to work with. It is given to me. It's 6. Well, let's see what I've got. So I'm going to write them up here, but you could just look at your foldable or these notes or wherever it is you have it written, the 2 equations that I have to work with. So I've got this. Hypotenuse equals short leg times short leg times 2. I've also got this one that the long leg is equal to the short leg times square root 3. Let's see. I don't think I had much of an option. I don't know my long leg. I don't know my short leg. So this one would get me nowhere. But, let's see. I have two things I'm looking for, but I know one of them, and I don't know the other. This is what I'm going to use. So I'm going to plug in what I got. My hypotenuse is 6. Short leg times 2. It's an equation, so I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And 6 divided by 2 is going to give me 3. Oh, well, thank goodness. Okay. So I got something now. So let's see, I'm going to write down my answers that I got. Let's see, short leg is 3. Short leg was originally y, so I know that y equals 3. Okay, well, that's something. Let's check out how we get long leg. Again, I'm going to write them down, and we'll determine which one is useful. Hypotenuse is equal to short leg times 2. Long leg is equal to short leg times square root 3. Oh my goodness, again, I think I'm good to go. I already know hypotenuse and short leg, so why would I need that one again? I'm going to use this one. Long leg, I don't know. Short leg, I now have an answer for that. It's now 3 times square root 3. Oh, well, I'm good to go. Long leg equals 3 square root 3. Let's see, what was long leg originally? Long leg was originally x. So if this is multiple choice, they probably have x is equal to 3 square root 3. All right, so I hope this helped. I tried to explain it a little bit differently than you were taught last week. Again, let me know if you still have questions on this, and make sure you look at this for what's coming up on Friday also.